Welcome to the This Week in Astrology video forecast. This is episode number 11 for the week of May 12th, 2014. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Benjamin Bernstein of astroshaman.com, coming to you from Asheville, North Carolina. I'm an astrologer, shamanic healer, and awakening activator, and it's my pleasure to bring you these weekly astrology forecasts. Let's begin with an overview of the week of May 12th. A Scorpio full moon aligns with a grand trine to radiate healing and transformation. Well-being is supported by a Jupiter-Chiron trine, while a peaking T-square challenges relationships to evolve to the next level, plus 6 Mercury aspects and more. Let's cover it all in our individual days of the week. On Monday, May 12th, we open with Mercury trine Mars. Mercury is at 9 Gemini, Mars is at 9 Libra. Gemini and Mercury must be especially eager for conversation this week, since it's making 6 aspects. The first, this trine to Libra and Mars, smoothly stimulates learning, communication, relationships, and creative expression. We have no astrologically significant aspects on May 13th, Tuesday, so we're going to move right along to Wednesday, May 14th, with Jupiter trine Chiron. Jupiter is at 17 Cancer, and Chiron is at 17 Pisces. This trine between the wounded healer, Chiron, and expansive Jupiter provides flowing assistance for mentoring and healing. Spiritual healing and mentoring, Chiron in Pisces, and family healing, Jupiter in Cancer, receive special support. This trine is part of a Jupiter-Saturn-Chiron grand trine that I have spoken of previously. It started on April 20th, peaks on May 20th, and ends on June 24th. Also today, we have 2 aspects to the asteroid goddess Vesta. Vesta, by the way, is at 17 Libra. Jupiter is squaring her from 17 degrees Cancer, and Chiron is quincunxing her. That's a 150-degree aspect from 17 degrees Pisces. Jupiter and Chiron are affecting her differently. Jupiter's square amplifies Vesta's core meaning of devoted service to a higher cause. Chiron's quincunx asks what adjustments can be made to bring healing or wise counsel into the areas you're serving. In addition, today we have Venus square Pluto. Venus, 13 Aries, Pluto, 13 Capricorn. I'm not going to interpret this aspect individually because when we get to tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the T-square of which Venus and Pluto are a part. And rather than doing little individual piecemeal interpretations of the components of that T-square, it makes more sense to me just to give you the interpretation for the entire aspect pattern that takes everything into account. But we have more still to talk about today. Here on Wednesday, we have the full moon, the headline event of the week. This Scorpio full moon will shine forth at 3:16 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and the moon will be at 23 degrees 54 minutes Scorpio at that moment. Examine how you're doing in the areas of transformation, sacred sexuality, occult practice, shared resources, psychological introspection, and investigation. Release or transform whatever isn't working. Because the full moon aligns with the Jupiter-Saturn-Chiron grand trine I mentioned a moment ago, that aspect pattern's energies of healing and mentoring are significantly enhanced. With the moon conjunct Saturn, redirect any feelings of moodiness or depression by getting busy with a project or taking some time for quiet reflection. The Sabian symbol for this lunation is crowds coming down the mountain to listen to one inspired man. Remember that you are also part of the one divine consciousness that permeates all things. Once you connect with the source, you too can be the inspired speaker. Until then, hang around people who are more awake than you are, spiritually speaking, of course. You'll benefit from the osmosis effect. And still more to come today here on Wednesday. We have Mercury quincunx Pluto. Mercury is at 13 Gemini, Pluto is at 13 Capricorn. With so much power being generated by this Mercury-Pluto quincunx, thinking and speech could be a bit clumsy. Adjust the pace of your thought and communication as needed to take advantage of this power boost. Thursday, May 15th, we have Mercury making 2 aspects. It's sextiling both Venus and Uranus, which are very close together themselves. Mercury in this case is at 15 Gemini. Both Venus and Uranus are hanging out around 15 Aries. You could be entertaining strong, harmonious thoughts about love, money, and creativity, as well as uniqueness and humanitarian service under these aspects. Brilliant insights and intuitive flashes could pop in easily as well. In addition, we have a Venus-Uranus conjunction today, but again, even though they're both conjunct, there are around 15 areas, I'm not going to interpret them individually. Instead, let's just jump into the aspect pattern that they are part of. So, some of the cardinal Grand Cross's waning energy, we've been talking about that a lot in recent shows, is rekindled by Aryan Venus. Her T-square with Jupiter, Uranus, and Pluto focuses the energy of revolutionary transformation into relationships, money, and creativity. Release what doesn't serve you in these areas, be your authentic self, and follow your intuitive flashes. This Venus, Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto T-square started on May 11th, it peaks today, and it ends on May 21st. On Friday, May 16th, we have Pallas Athena, the asteroid goddess, entering Virgo. She's going to be there through August 10th. So, how can you serve others with your feminine assertiveness, strategic planning, and practical creativity? On Saturday, May 17th, we have Mercury square Chiron. Mercury is now at 17 Gemini. Chiron is at 17 Pisces. Focusing scattered thoughts may be a necessary precursor to effective mentoring and healing under this aspect. Sunday, May 18th, we have Venus square Jupiter. Venus 18 Aries, Jupiter 18 Cancer. You guessed it, I'm not going to interpret it separately. It's all part of that T-square with Venus I've already discussed this week. But we still have Mercury quincunx Saturn to talk about. Mercury at 19 Gemini now, Saturn at 19 Scorpio. Extra mental effort may be required to overcome constipated communication as Saturn quincunxes Mercury. And yet to come still today, we have a new aspect pattern. It's a kite, and I'll tell you about that. The Jupiter-Saturn-Chiron Grand Trine that I mentioned earlier expands into a kite because Juno is joining the party. The Grand Trine itself is like an equilateral triangle, and a kite point to an equilateral triangle Grand Trine is a planet that comes between two of those guys, and sextiles run from two of those planets to the fourth planet in this case, which is now Juno. So, any issues arising in your committed partnerships, one of Juno's big themes, be they romantic or platonic, can more easily be healed while this four-pointed aspect pattern is active. It starts today, peaks on May 29th, and ends on June 4th. Let's look ahead to next week's aspects, the week of May 19th. We have a little bit of a potpourri, but a lot of powerful stuff happening. Mars is turning direct. Jupiter makes two aspects, a trine to Saturn, also part of that Grand Trine I've been discussing, and Jupiter's also squaring Ceres. The Sun will enter Gemini, Pluto trines Juno, and Venus quincunxes Saturn. I'd like to take just a moment for a couple of announcements. Voting is continuing for the Mountain Express 2014 Best of WNC Reader Survey. That's Western North Carolina. I placed second last year in the astrology category and would love to be number one this year. So please vote for me no later than Wednesday, May 21st. In terms of local events, very briefly, I'm doing the Leaf Festival this weekend. If you're going to be there, come and do a session with me, or come to my Saturday morning presentation at 9 a.m. on Shamanic Awakening. I'll also be at the Fairy and Earth Festival doing readings on May 17th. That's near Asheville. Also, about an hour from Asheville, I'll be at the Wise Wolf Council at Isis Cove, May 25th, teaching with my partner, Kimberly Crow. That whole weekend is going to be amazing if you're into shamanic stuff. So check that out if you're anywhere near Asheville, North Carolina. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my Benjamin Bernstein YouTube channel to be notified when I post new videos. And if you like this video, please share it. This free video forecast is a partner project with iTunes' #1 astrology audio podcast, This Week in Astrology. That's also free. You can get my weekly astrology forecast in writing by subscribing to my free email newsletter at astroshaman.com. Once you're there, you can also link to my Facebook page and Twitter feed where I post daily forecasts. My personal services include astrology, shamanic healing, and awakening activation. All are equally effective in person or long distance. My guarantee makes my services risk-free. If you don't feel that your experience was helpful, there's no charge. I also offer other great products and services, many of which are free. To learn more, visit astroshaman.com. Thanks again for watching. I wish you infinite blessings as the stars light